Esho Govindamadipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvangha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Dear devotees, tonight we'll be singing a pad from Prem Ras Madira, Leela Madhuri, pad number 21. So let us sing the first line and then we'll see what today's pad is about. Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamun Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar 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 Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nanda Kumar Today Nandkumar is playing with gopis in the Yamuna river. Yamun Jal, in the waters of Yamuna, Viharat Nandkumar. Our beloved Krishna is playing. Viharat means frolicking, playing, doing leelas with the gopis in the waters of Yamuna. When Shree Maharaj describes the Milan style of Roop Dhyan, he told us, we saw the video the other night where Shree Maharaj was describing how to meditate on Shri Krishna in two main styles. Starting with him in front of you and visualizing his form in detail and feeling his divine presence. Then you can go one of two directions depending on the pad you're singing and depending upon your mood. You could go the viraha or viyog direction where Shri Krishna doesn't come any closer. He's there just slightly apart from you and you're calling to him or longing for him, calling to come closer. When will you come and meet me for real? And we develop that sincere longing in our heart and try to cry tears for Krishna to come and meet us. We're seeing him, but we know he hasn't come all the way. We want to meet him. Or he described in some detail how we can use our meditation to take our divine body up to the borders of Golok Abode and there see Radha Krishna and gopis doing leelas but not being able to enter and join. So again we cry out to them and ask them to accept us. This viraha style of Roop Dhyan or Viyog style of Roop Dhyan is one way that we can go depending upon our mood. The other way is the Milan style of Roop Dhyan, where after initially having Krishna there in front of you, then he comes closer and now you directly interact with him in your Roop Dhyan. When this happens, we can use all five of our senses. In order to keep the mind engaged, we can use different senses as a way to keep our mind interested. We have five senses through which we perceive this material world. The same five senses are used to perceive Shri Krishna and to perceive his divine world. And those five senses are embedded in our mind. The subtle form of our senses are a part of our mind, or they're with our mind, because they even go with us to our next birth. The mind and subtle senses travel with the soul to the next birth. So what I'm saying is, if we want to involve the mind in thinking of Krishna, we can capitalize on one of these senses. Knowing that the subtle sense of sight is embedded in the mind, then we use that subtle sense of sight to see Krishna in our mind's eye. Then the mind is touching Krishna through that. Or we use our subtle sense of smell to smell the divine fragrance of Krishna in our meditation. So we're visualizing the form of Shri Krishna, and we're also sensing the fragrance of Shri Krishna in our meditation. That is also creating a union between our mind and Shri Krishna. We can also hear Shri Krishna's words, his flute, the sound of his anklets or bangles. Every sound made by Shri Krishna's voice or his flute or his ornaments is all divine. We can also hear the sounds of Yamuna river, the lapping of the waves. the sound of the breeze in the big trees there in divine Vrindavan. We can use our sense of touch. In this Leela, Shri Krishna is swimming in Yamuna river. So, you know, you go outside here in Texas nowadays, and the moment you step outside of the temple, you feel like you just entered a furnace, like blasting hot air in your face. Today, I saw a cloud in the sky for the first time since I got back from India. 15 days. We looked up, what is that? What happened? The sun just went behind a cloud. So imagine in this heat, oh, cool waters of Yamuna, cool, sweet, divine waters of Yamuna river, and Krishna is in there. So you can hear the sounds of the splashing of the water when Shri Krishna plays. You can feel the coolness and the divineness of the water. You can taste the sweetness of the water. Use your sense of taste as well. Through all these 5 subtle senses that we can engage in meditation, we're creating a state of union between our mind and Shri Krishna, which purifies our mind. And as the mind purifies, one thing that happens is that the meditation, the balance of meditation and reality gradually shifts. Initially, it's our effort and our meditation and our devotional imagination to join our mind with Shri Krishna. But when that state of unity starts to deepen, then we're still using the mind as a tool to bring ourselves into conscious awareness of Shri Krishna's presence with us. But in our Rup Dhyan, the reality of Krishna being with us is felt, not imagined. So that balance starts with more our imagination, even though the fact is Krishna is here with us, but then we start to feel the reality, experience the reality of Shri Krishna's presence. This intensifies the more our heart purifies. We call that bhav. When a devotee experiences Shri Krishna's presence, starts to taste some taste or some hint, some reflection of that divine bliss and love. This is called bhav bhakti. So through the practice of meditating on these leelas, we purify our heart and we begin to enter into bhav bhakti. As the heart purifies also, it becomes more and more imbued with this blissful graciousness of Shri Krishna through the Guru, with the Guru as the medium, so that the mind remains more and more immersed in a state of peaceful attachment to Radha Krishna, a state of devotional confidence. Even throughout the day, one feels that, oh, they are with me. What do I have to worry about? What's the worst that can happen? Radha Krishna are never going to leave me. Maharaj is never going to leave me. Then what am I worrying about? These feelings grow stronger and stronger. And the opposite of those feelings, stress, fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, those feelings gradually reduce in the same proportion as our devotion is increasing. And this continues all the way up to God realization. So let us now look at the description of this Pad Kirtan. I wish Maharaji could read this to us. We've seen videos of Maharaji reading his own compositions. The way he reads it fast and it jumps along, you get a feeling for the meter of it and the alliteration, the repeated sounds in different words. So ghana na ghana sa ghana ga ghana pe garaji taraji balihar. So the first line is saying that Ghanan, these clouds are also excited about this Leela of Krishna being playing in Yamuna river. So they're rumbling, ghanan. Ghana means the clouds themselves. Saghana means they're dense and dark. Gagan means the sky. Garaji taraji balihar. So they're roaring and rumbling up there in the skies to let their feelings be known. Balihar, the clouds are also balihar on this playing in Yamuna river, Leela by Shri Krishna. Chama chama chamakati chapala chanchalata. It's a tongue twister. Chama chamakati, the clouds are also flashing. Chapal means like unpredictable. Chanchala, the lightning, is flashing unpredictably, excitedly also, to show the excitement of the clouds and to add, like saying, I'm also celebrating this Leela of Shri Krishna. Rima jhima parata puhar. And it's just lightly, I don't know, you would have seen in water, on the surface of the water, when there's a very light drizzle, it makes like a kind of a high-pitched, not high-pitched like that hurts your ears, but from bass to treble, it's like a kind of that type of sound on the surface of the water when the drizzle happens on the water. So that's like a rimijhim parata puhar. You can't say it's like a downpour, but it's definitely something is coming from the clouds. It's a light drizzle. Krishna and gopis are in the water anyway. They're already wet, so it doesn't matter how hard is it raining. But this rain is also adding to the environment by giving that sound of the rain falling on the water, and then also just the general feeling of the clouds being involved in the Leela by giving a little bit of drizzle also. So let us chant these two lines, and then we'll see what happens in Krishna's Yamuna Leela. Viharat Nandkumar Yamun Jal Viharat Nandkumar Yamun Jal Saghana gagana Saghana gagana Garaji taraji balihar Yamun Jal Garaji balihar Yamun Jal Garaji taraji balihar Yamun Jal Garaji taraji balihar चम चम चमकती चम चम चमकती चपल चंचला
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 रिम झिम परत फुहार यमुन जल
रिम झिम परत फुहार यमुना जल
रिम झिम परत फुहार यमुन जल
रिम झिम परत फुहार यमुना जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुना जल
Shri Krishna is surrounded by the gopis in the waters of Yamuna. And they're playing Sakhi parikar do kar hari par kar jal anjurin bauchar. Some sakhis are like making waves with their hands, sending it towards Shyam Sundar, and some are outright splashing him. So the game has begun, and gopis are, you can say, splashing their love on Shri Krishna with the waters of Yamuna. Jal anjurin bauchar, and Shri Krishna, for his part, ghumi ghumi jhuki jhumi jhumi. He's spinning this way, spinning that way, leaning this way, bending that way. So he's trying to avoid the splashes of gopis on one hand, and on the other hand, humi jaladar. He's also making big splashes on gopis. So he's dodging their splashes, and he's also making a torrent of water go on whatever gopis face him. So in this way, Krishna and gopis are frolicking in Yamuna river. We can also do Roop Dhyan on this Leela and join in the Leela as well. Viharat Nand Kumar Yamun Jal
Viharat Nand Yamuna Jal
Ghumi ghumi jhumi sakhi parikar do kar hari par kar
Sakhi parikar do
कर दो कर हरि पर कर
सखी परिकर दो कर हरि पर कर
जल अंजुरी न बौछार यमुन जल
जल अंजरी बौछार यमुन जल
कर अंजु जल अंजुरी न बौछार यमुन जल
जल अंजरी बौछार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार 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 यमुन जल
घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरी
घूमी घूमी झुकी घूमी घूमी हरी
घूमी घूमी झुकी घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरी
घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरी
हूमी हूमी जल डार यमुन जल
घूमी घूमी जल डार यमुन जल
हूमी हूमी जल डार यमुन जल
घूमी घूमी जल डार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहरत
Now Shree Maharaj Ji gives us the overall picture of the impression. If we were to think of what's happening here with Krishna and gopis, it looks like Nachata manahu mayurina sanga le pankha mayur pasar. Mayur means the male peacock. Mayurin means all the female peahens. Krishna looks like the male peacock with pankha pasar, with his tail feathers spread out, how the peacock spins and moves and quickly dashes this way and that way. In other words, dancing, the way the peacocks dance. So it looks just like Shri Krishna is doing that. Like he's the male peacock surrounded by all the female peahens, all the gopis, mayurin, and along with them, this is a jal bicha nritya, like they're doing a choreographed dance within the waters of Yamuna, a peacock dance within the waters of Yamuna, because they're all dashing this way and that and spinning and all together, because each one is influencing the other with their movements, forward and back, attacking and retreating. So the whole scene gives this overall impression of the peacock dancing. So let us also do Roop Dhyan of this description of this Leela. Viharat Nandkumar Yamun Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Nachat manahu mayurina sangale
Nachat manahu mayurina sangale
Nachat manahu mayurina sangale
Nachat manahu mayurina sangale
Pankha mayur pasar Yamun Jal
Pankha mayur pasar Yamuna Jal
Pankha mayur pasar Yamun Jal
Pankha mayur pasar Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Yamuna Jal
Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamun Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Har mani lai. In the end, Shri Krishna accepted defeat from all these gopis in this playful water fight that they were having. So when Shri Krishna finally said, okay, you win, then Hansi Sabe Brajnar. Gopis laughed. They were so happy. Of course, gopis are trying to make Krishna happy, and Krishna is trying to make gopis happy. And through this playful interaction that we call a leela, one amazing thing that Shree Kripalu Maharaj has explained is that Krishna always gets what is called Swarupanand. He himself is Anand. He himself is the very form of bliss. Therefore, he always experiences that unlimited bliss of his own self, Swarupanand. But the bliss he gets in these playful leelas, or any leela, any interaction with a bhakt, gives him manas anand, which is further enriched. It's considered superior to the Swarupanand. So imagine, we ordinary souls, after God realization, can serve Shri Krishna because we have received the greatest thing, that divine love, the absolute essence of bliss, that Radha Krishna give to a soul. Having received that divine love, then that becomes the basis of our interaction with Radha Krishna in these leelas, and through that we're able to, through our actual interaction with Krishna, he receives manas anand, which is greater than the Swarupanand he would be getting if he were just on his own. I'm God, I don't need anybody. I am self-complacent, unlimitedly blissful, eternally. So what do I need from anyone in this world? Well, we can actually serve him with his own divine love, because by some divine miracle, through these leelas, Shri Krishna is also experiencing manas anand, which is superior to the Swarupanand he would be experiencing on his own. So it's just something to look forward to, that we can also please our divine beloved Shri Krishna with our love. We can make him even happier. We can serve him with our divine love so that he can truly experience even higher levels of bliss. And of course, so are we. And so the competition is on. Krishna is trying to give more love to gopis. They're multiplying it and giving it back to Krishna. He's multiplying it and giving it back to gopis. And thus, pratikshana vardhamanam prema swarupam. This prem goes on increasing for infinity due to this divine nature of that supreme power. So here, in the end, Shri Krishna admits defeat in this water fight with the gopis, and gopis shower their love on Shri Krishna with their smiles and their laughs. Viharat Nandkumar Yamun Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
हार मानी लई जब कृपालु हरि
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 हसी सबे ब्रजनार यमुन जल
हसी सब रचनार यमुना
हसी सबे ब्रजनार यमुन जल
हसी सब रचनार यमुना जल
हसी सबे ब्रजनार यमुन जल
हसी सब रचनार यमुना जल
यमुन जल
यमुना जल
यमुन जल
यमुना जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुना जल
घूमी घूमी झुकी घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरी
घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरि
घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरी
घूमी घूमी झुकी झूमी झूमी हरि
हूमी हूमी जल डार यमुन जल
भूमि भूमि जलधार यमुन जल
भूमि भूमि जल डार यमुन जल
भूमि भूमि जलधार यमुन जल
नाचत मनहु मयूरीन संग
नाचत मनहु मयूरीन संग
नाचत मनहु मयूरीन संग
नाचत मनहु मयूरीन
pasar Yamuna Jal
Mayur Pasar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
Viharat Nandkumar Yamuna Jal
हार मानी लै जब कृपालु हरि
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 सब ब्रजनार यमुन जल
हसी सब रचना यमुना जल
हसी सब ब्रजनार यमुन जल
हसी सब रचना यमुना जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहारत नंद कुमार यमुना जल
विहरत नंद कुमार यमुन जल
विहारत नंद कुमार यमुना जल
बोलो वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की. Tomorrow is the final day of our 2023 Summer Sadhana Shivir. Routine, because by practicing this Atma Nirikshana, this self-assessment or self-evaluation daily, it makes it far less likely that we'll repeat the same mistakes. That's what happens if we don't reflect like that. Then we form habits of anger or jealousy or fault finding in others or negative thinking patterns. We form those habits and then it goes until we realize it. But if we're analyzing ourselves every day, then we'll realize, oh yeah, I did this today, I thought this today, that harmed my devotion or that caused upset to someone else. So we just reflect on that briefly and we realize where we caused ourselves harm. Then we resolve to do better the next day. So Shree Maharaj Ji says, so through this simple reflection and then resolving to do better, we can actually improve ourselves, which is no small victory. To reduce one's faults is no small thing. People go their whole life and struggle to improve themselves at all. But with Sri Maharaj's grace, by following this simple routine or adding this simple practice into our daily routine, we can really start to reduce those things that are damaging to our devotion, whether they be thoughts or actions. And then along with that, the practice of Radhe breathing. This is also a way of keeping the mind on that leash tied to Radha and Krishna. When the mind is it's free and it's allowed to roam on its own, then it's going to get into trouble. Like, you let an animal loose, it's going to go and get into something it's not supposed to get into, right? So our mind is like that. We have to keep it tied up to Radha and Krishna. How? The sweetest way, just Radhe, Radhe. Inhale, Ra. Exhale, De. All day long, whenever you have some mental space, then your mind gets revved up to think about this person, that person, worry about that, fear that. Then instead of letting the mind get into all this trouble, just tie it up to Radharani through her name. These two simple practices, if we implement them, Sri Maharaji says in 10 days, 20 days, in 1 month, you'll find yourself far ahead where you were looking back, when you look back. He says, in fact, you should, once a month, give a little deeper analysis and see how far have I come in the last month. You have all the resources. You have Kripalu Nidhi. You have Sri Maharaji's books, his lectures, his videos, all different types of inspiration and ways to connect with Sri Maharaji through all the materials that he's made available to us. So whether we take advantage of that by studying the philosophy, or we take advantage of that by watching some informal videos of Sri Maharaji, or we find a way to do some seva to Sri Maharaji. Whatever it is, we have to find a way to keep our mind engaged in devotion. One way or another. We have so many options. We find what fits our schedule, what fits our capabilities, and we find ways, we customize our life so that we can lead a more devotional life, incorporating all these simple and powerful practices that Sri Maharaji has told us to use in our daily routine. So the rest you heard in very beautiful detail the last 2 days about sadhana, seva, and satsang from Siddheshwari Didi, that summarizes the whole practice of what you have to do on an ongoing basis. And you've all heard it many times, and you'll continue to hear it from Sri Maharaji. You know that we have other intensives coming up here, Janmashtami intensive, Radhashtami intensive, and then the winter camp where we include more parallel programming for the kids, so it's more family friendly. We even have programming for the age 3 to 6 level kids and up from there. So you can keep these programs in mind as well. And of course, the Sharad Purnima program, which Gopeshwari Didi will be leading. So you have Radha Madhav Dham as your place to stay plugged in and come and get inspired and keep on increasing your devotion. Now we're going to be having chanting up until midnight. And as we begin the chanting, we're going to get an opportunity to do pujan to Sri Maharaji. We'll be setting up the pujan here in front of the stage. This is a way to remind ourselves that whatever progress we made in these 2 weeks was all due to Sri Maharaj's grace. From him giving us the knowledge of what is devotion and why we have to do it, to him explaining the practice of devotion to us, to him providing the material for us to do devotion, all the chants and tunes, and of course the invisible help, which is most important of all, the grace in our heart, which purifies and uplifts us and gives us those devotional experiences. It's all him. Yes, we have to follow. We have to join our mind with him, but the force behind everything we gained is all Sri Maharaji. So doing this pujan helps us remind ourselves of this, and it's also a way of doing Rup Dhyan, that I want to actually get the chance to touch Sri Maharaji's divine charan, offering our obeisance to Sri Maharaji's divine lotus feet, and thereby we can get the real benefit of having that direct contact with Sri Maharaji. So let us now begin the Kirtan and get the pujan set up. So once the pujan is set up, we'll have the men's line closer to the shrine and the ladies' line closer to the doors over here.